With Papaji and with a lot of people in the older Indian culture, the pre-Western influence Indian culture, emotions are not the primary issue, but thoughts are. And the reference point is more like, what do I think about this particular event that's happening? What does it mean to me? And of course that means, what does it mean to my survival? And then in the West, perhaps with Freud and Jung and the different explorers of the psyche, Westerners became aware of a whole emotional sea. And in our particular subculture, which I would call psycho-spiritual, emotions become the reference point that thoughts once were. And in that sense, they're even emotional thoughts. So that if we have a pain, we immediately, not everyone, but a lot of us, say, oh, what does this mean? Or really saying, oh, what does this mean about me? Oh, why is this here? And someone actually came to me recently about this pain, and she described it as a snake coiling around, and it really sounded to me like gas. And I suggested that perhaps it was just indigestion. But because we have become such an emotionally referenced culture, it was almost like that was heresy. No, it has meaning. And so, in my experience, what has to be cut through is this sort of infatuation with the drama of emotions, or the peace of emotionlessness, and in our willingness to simply let emotions be what they are, an aspect of being embodied in form. Then there's a kind of, or there's a better discrimination of when there's an emotion that's actually a threat, actually an alert to the survival of the being, or is actually a repetition of an old habit that's been triggered, and is finally doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything if it continues, and doesn't mean anything if it stops. It doesn't have to be the reference point. Just like the thought of me doesn't have to be the reference point. And when it's not the reference point, it doesn't mean anything if it continues, and it doesn't mean anything if it stops.